ever nga this will disturb the internet connectivity, okay lang, later na lang sad siya i-on during the pictorial or documentation. Okay, should you be cut off from the meeting due to intermittent internet connection, just log back in so we can fetch you from the waiting room. And this is a recorded session, by the way, for documentation purposes. Gina-record din mo siya because we will be giving this later on or distributing this later on to you so that you can go back to the video if you need to review some parts, no? And certificates will be sent to you to your email along with the handouts and the link for evaluation. Okay, so without further ado, let us proceed to the first part of our webinar, which is on assessment overview, and of course to be followed by the Google Forms as quiz. Okay, so our first speaker, we already know her. No, she is the director for the Center for Innovative Teaching and Learning. Please help me welcome Dr. Amphi Binagsa.
Thank you, Sir Arvin. So we ask you to try to take these quizzes. Salamat po sa mga nag-try kasi po so that later you would have an idea ano pong tinatry nating i-create, no? Quiz. So again, from what Sir Arvin have said, medyo we'll try to find a way because our students may have difficulty with, I don't know, with submitting, or some of them no have difficulty still with our e-portal, and then yung mga faculty naman natin, they tried to find a way to submit, ask the requirements via Messenger. That is nice because Messenger, Facebook, and other platforms may be very accessible to our students. However, sa part naman ng faculty, it can be quite a burden kasi nga, di naman siya designed to collect yung mga messenger, no? So if you will, let me just show you, and I like the comment of Ma'am Michelle, no, Magsayo. Sabi niya, nice siya, ma'am, I'm currently using mobile data, easy to upload pics. Exactly how we wanted our students to experience, no, na sana ma-feel nila na maski data lang ilang gamit sa pag-submit sa requirements sa imuha, kaya pala din mag-submit kahit wala gid kay ko strong na internet. And kani po na link kaning among gi-submit sa gihatag sa inyo, pwede ra i-text, pwede ibutang sa Facebook, pwede ding sa Messenger, maka-get na dayon ta sa submission sa mga students. So basically po, why are we considering this? Because as faculty, we want to determine whether our students are learning, whether they're understanding, whether they are developing their abilities. No, yun naman talaga, and yun ang pinaka-difficult na part na we're not doing face-to-face. How would we know that they learned, especially sa mga kaibigan natin sa architecture, no? Last time talagang they do it in front of us, and for our friends from the different departments of the technology as well as for engineering, kung saan nila gid og kanang ano no kanang design solve na wala naman gid sila sa ato ang atubangan. So the only challenge here is we have to determine if they are still learning, but how are we going to collect no this their output. So again, assessment is that process determining whether our students are learning, and then it is a systematic collection and analysis of information because we have to know from their output activities, from their performance tasks, kung if there's a need to redesign, no? So of course, from your experience, you can also use this for your pre-instructional, yung mga pa-diagnostic test. You can also send this so that you would know if there's a need to redesign the instruction. And you can also use this for your quiz, for your long test, for your performance innovative task. No? I will show anong itsura ng quiz sa mata sa maestra. No? So you've submitted your quiz 1. Ani ang dating, no? Sir Chris Aspiras, okay ra ba na ako i-show ang imuhang result, no? Di nato ni dibdibo, no? Nag-click-click raman yun mo. So say for example, no? As a summary, ani ang dating sa mga maestra. Of course, no, as a faculty, we wanted to determine whether our students are understanding the concept. So as a summary, pwede nating makita dire by this part nga ano no nga unsa kinsa ang nag-submit, and in problem number 1, pila ka buok ang nakakuha. So if this is 67%, that means more likely this is of average difficulty, kasi dapat naman po sa isa ka item murag dapat ano no kanang majority makakuha kung ano, pero naa ba dapat marong kay naman yung curve, diba? So so tanaw na to if it's very difficult maging ana. That is as a group. Individually, you can see as piras, this is the result. And then when we can move to the other, sumura ra gyapon ni siya nag-collect og practice, tapos mura gitan-aw nimo isa-isa, no? Later you will see that pwedeng ma-download ang buong test scores. For quiz number 2, ito po yung mga ano no? So say for example, no, nag-submit si Sir Taala for quiz number 2. Try nyo po yung quiz number 2, no, kung dali ra ba i-submit, kung igo ra ko nag-picture sa akong output, tapos i-submit na ko sa ako ang professor, maraging ana, no? So, Sir Taala, this is the answer. So, you notice, so may I ask, naka-receive po ba kayo ng feedback sa quiz number 1? Did you know your score? Did you know your score? Did you know which item you received, you had correct or not? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
quiz number 1, no? Sa ano, yung iba po, did you receive? Ma'am Lizelle, yes. So, you learned already your score, right? You got your score, and did you know which part is correct? So, for this, no, Sir Duwat, so I'm sure when you had a score 6/8, you also learn when you click view score that your number 1 is correct, your number 2 is wrong, and then something like that. Bench, no? Ma'am Dayan. Sa quiz number 2 naman, you did not receive a score, correct? If you submitted quiz number 2, let's look at the question for quiz number 2. Ito kasi dating sa quiz number 2 sa inyo. Diba, ingani po, gipangayuan mo email ad, tapos gipangayuan mo surname, first name, section, and then you were asked, graph this, and then you knew that it's 5 points. And then, of course, place here link to your video, kay siguro, ang maistadri is naa siya instruction dun sa Facebook niya, or sa e-portal, or sa module niya na for your quiz number 2, something, create a video of yourself designing something like that. Tapos upload it or directly submit your video here. Tapos may pa-essay, may pangaganon. So this is the look sa quiz number 2. And so as a teacher, no, let's look at this kay Sir Taala. As a teacher, I will look at now, no mura gyapon ni siya kanang, di ba, kung mag-collecta, kung pa-design, pa-solve, paana, it's not like the same as quiz number 1 na dali ra kay sa tanan ng quiz number 1, no, kay multiple choice man. Ay, you've already responded. Okay? Dali ra kay sa quiz number 1 because it's it's multiple choice. Pero eto kasi, 'di ba, pa-sketch, pa ganito, pa-essay. So meaning as a teacher, you still have to check this. So, parang individual quiz, wala lay face-to-face, wala lay papel. And it's so nice, no, wala lay papel. So, pwedeng naar ka sa unsa ba ka tambay-tambay somewhere and then the check ng kag papel. So here, I'm looking at Taala sa my student, and then I'll click that, sabi ko, sketch, design, or whatever. Ito yung sinubmit niya. So, sa ako lugar na, as a faculty or as a professor, ito pala, okay, so I will now put a grade on that. Okay, I will say, okay, that's 4 points. And then, sabi niya, may link to the video, tapos ako na din i-check, I would say 3 points. And then nag-essay siya, and then nag-respond siya and say, okay, that is 5 points. And then I would save that. So, just like in our face-to-face, nagre-return po tayo ng ano, 'di ba, ng exam scores, 'di ba po? So, how will I return the score? If you notice, I asked an email address. Here in quiz number 1, I did not. Why did I not ask an email ad in number 1? Because you receive automatically your score. So I don't need to give you your score anymore. Unlike with with quiz number 2 na mag-check pa man ko isa-isa. Mararagya po ni siya og kanang sa na pagkahuman diri kay Sir Abdullah. Okay, this is 3-4 points. This is 5 points. So man ako na nang gibasa, and then I'd say 5 points, and then I'd go save. Murag isa-isa ra gyapon pare atong ga-check pata sa papel. But this time I ask an email address. Why? Because I will tell the student this is the score. So you notice, ang uban, wala niya gitcheckan, kaya wala pa man ko nag-check. Kay Abdullah lang to o kay Sir Taala ako ang na-checkan. And then I'll tell them, okay, I'll tell Google, send the quiz score. Ano pong ma-receive nila? Ang ma-receive po nila in ani na po. Your score has been released for Modern Geometry Quiz 2, 6/8. And then, i-click nila, the same. Makita dayon nila, unsa ang score nila diri na part. So, makita niya ning 4/5, 5/5, 5/5. Okay po? So, from the students. So, see the difference. So, why are we considering this? And we hope that you are going to consider this, no? Kasi nga, we are trying to find ways to determine whether our students are learning, and at the same time, we are also considering their accessibility. The link po that was shown to you kanina, no? And the link also, no? Na pwede na to ibutang sa tong module, pwede na to ibutang sa Facebook, pwede ibutang sa e-portal, is easier accessible kahit cellphone lang ang gikan sa mga estudyante. Or kung kani mo itong gigamit na pang-collect sa ilang exam or sa ilang quiz or sa ilang performance innovative task, lesser data as agreed by Sir Calibara, no? And gigamit na gani ni kanang Sir ni Ma'am Mitch nga kuan ra gyud data lang ang gamit and naka-submit siya. So these are the things that we are considering in this pandemic, no? That still education, and we're still determining whether our students are learning, at the same time considering accessibility and sana dili burden sa mga teacher, no? So I will show na nganong dili man siya burden sa mga maestra kay ingani ang ato ang very organized. And here, if you will also see all their scores, I will show later na mas organized siya. Rather than kani siya, ato siyang ipasubmit, no, ipa-design nato siya, ipasubmit nato sila sa messenger, medyo po that can be a burden to the faculty, no, kay malubong ba dito sa messenger, isa-isang na sa tupukay sa ato ang mga professor. So, we hope you're going to consider that, but I will live demo how we're going to do and create this quiz. But during this live demo, it can be a bit fast, but we're going to send this, we are going to send this, ang ila-live ko po, makikita po nyo sa ating guide, and you will also receive this recorded webinar. Okay po? So, I will begin. We begin creating this quiz using your official USTP email. Okay po? So you go to your USTP email. Alright? Go to your bakit po USTP email? Kasi po ang gamit nyo is ordinary Gmail, you will notice na dili gagawas diretso ang forms, no? So from here, click drive from this 9 dots, click drive, and when you click drive, you will be directed to your drive, no, in your USTP email, and then you click another, this 9 dots again, and then you will have this purple form. In my Gmail account na hindi USTP email, wala din siya, no, kaning dating. But of course, you can just go to the form and make it a quiz and something like that. And then click blank quiz for you to create your quiz. Okay? Sige po. So we will create blank quiz. And then with our blank quiz, we are now ready to make our quiz. So I will make muna po the multiple choice. But of course, you can create a paragraph. You can ask your students to upload a file because you ask them to design, you ask them to create, you ask them to diagram. That's upload a file na imong giingon na ilang picturean, ilang ibutang sila no, ilang sila naghimo or create a video or something like that. But here, I'll demo muna how to create the multiple choice, no? So I'll just make a multiple choice. And then, di ba po, we already have naman mga exams in the past nato ng hinimo, di ba? So what we're going to do is just, ano that, ano no, kanang, just find that one. And then, okay, there. So I'll just copy that. Usually I just copy that. I'll just paste it there. I will delete number 1 because I'm gonna tell Google that out of my 50 items or out of my 30 items, I will tell Google that, you know, we will have different order in this particular, I don't know, in this, we will have different order for every person who will take this quiz para maski mag-abay sila, di sila pareho og number 1, no? So, and then I'm gonna copy my anino mga relation ay mga choices kay nahimo naman nato ni siya sa una. 'Di ba na mga exams, di po ba? And then nanong wala man ko nagbutang og letter A, letter B, letter C. Because I'm also gonna tell Google, you know, bala pag nagkapareho sila og number 1, sana dili sila pareho og option. Shuffle the option order. Para po maski pareho sila what type of transformation lalala. Letter A, di sila pareho. So within the options, they will have different order here. So sa isa ka tao, magsugod og glide, ang isa ka tao magsugod og reflection. So we have to click required so that we're later when the student will take the test, ma-skip man niya mo ano ang Google no mo ano ang quiz mo prompt na oops, I think you missed this, no? And then we're gonna tell Google, you know, the answer to this is reflection. And then this is 2 points. Okay? That's 2 points. All right? So this is what we're going to tell Google, no? So incorrect, tell the student, what is your feedback? You can do this or you may not do this, no? So pwedeng, this is not correct para later, naa sila ano no, feedback sa kada item. Or pwede ra ang correct ron. You're correct. Okay. Pwede namang naa, pwedeng wala. Pero of course, mas nice na lugar. No? So, you notice kanina po na pag-click ninyo na I give feedback kung correct ba or wrong ang imong. And then, of course, don't forget to click done. Okay? So, anong itsura nito sa atong mga estudyante kung sila ang mutanaw? Sumurag ing-ani ang dating. No? So, ang question ako is, kung ing-ani lang na words, wala problema, no? Wala problema ang words. Ang problema man good, especially, no, that's why akong gina-example ang math. Kaya dini man good miga problema kung unsaon na mo ni siya sa USTP. Tapos, when I tried doing sa USTP yung mga symbols sa mathematics, medyo naglisod ko, no? O kano kay wala dito ang symbol sa set theory na mga and logic. So in this type, no, what type of transformation is represented by the diagram? Ang importante naman no, mas dali sa una na ani, ba? Because we just do this in our GeoGebra and it's done. But how do we do it here? No? So nice is we can create like here and then put this in USTP, no? So that it's available in USTP, it's available in our Facebook group, it's available in the Messenger or chat group. So I need to upload a picture. So pwede naman aking screenshot this one, but you know the quality of screenshots, right? So let's find another way to screenshot that. So we can go use the snipping tool. Find your snipping tool in your home button or start button. So look for the snipping tool. Okay, I'm looking for my snipping tool. Where is my snipping tool? Okay, so medyo na, eto. No? And then click new. So snipping tool will screenshot this but of higher quality. No? So yan na din siyang screenshot. And then I'm gonna say, okay, kung saan mo na? Pwede siya man-use. Wala man lagi na ko siya madunggan. Okay. Sige po. There. Salamat po. Okay. So, after that, we are going to save as this one. Okay. And then say, for example, no, you go to your desktop, you'd say, your, buta na to, no, pa-prelim na ta. Ano mo yata prelim? Okay. And then I'd go item number 1 and then save. Okay. So here, what type of transformation? What type of transformation? And then I'd go click. And then I'd go browse. Okay. And then I'd go to my desktop. And then, asa nagay ko say, okay. And then I'll go like that and click. Okay? So, naanadayon siya, no? And then, ano itsura nito sa mata sa itong mga estudyante? Working ana. So, what type of transformation? Horizontal diagram, something like this. Okay? That's nice. Looks nice. Pero, usahay, ngita tagway no, di man sa tapulan, pero basiging ana na gyud. Ngita ko gway nga, dali inta akong kinabuhi sa mga ani, na naman ko exam sa una, na yung ani. Tas, kung ako ning isa-isahon og type sa akong ABC, juice color. Diba po? So, what I'm going to do now is the entire question is the entire question is a picture. So for this particular section muna, I'll go another item, and then pwede namang entire question is a picture. So how do I do that? I'd go again to my snipping tool. Where's my snipping tool? Although the shortcut for snipping tool is Control Shift 4. Control Shift 4. Control Shift 4 in your keyboard. The 4 is on your keyboard, not on your number board. Okay, so I'll go snipping tool. Once again, I'll click new. I'll screenshot this. No? Okay, there. And then I'll save as. That would be my item number 2. I'll just go to item number 2. There, I'll save. All right. So I'll go to my Google. The entire is a picture. Okay. Loading. Ang naka-nice is pwedeng 6 mo kabok nagtiblo with the same and then pwedeng sabay-sabay man mag-create. Okay. All right, I'll go to number 2. Okay, so yan na din na siyang So then my options would be A, would be B, kailangan naman dito given sa picture, would be C, would be D. Okay? Tapos, I'm gonna make sure that this is required for my students. And then I'm gonna look at this. Siguro di na lang ako i-shuffle ang option order, no? Kaya baso niya pag within this A, B, C, D, ako pag i-shuffle ang questions, C, B, A. Kasi dili lang. Siguro, no? So I'll go answer key. Let's just say, for example, the answer to this is, okay, I would tell Google, the answer to that is letter B. And then, that's 2 points. Okay, pwedeng mag-tell, you're correct, pero pwede ding wala. Good. Okay, wala yung feedback eh. Basta kay markahan, check, wala naman estudyante. Okay, correct. And then, you can actually look at that. tanaw na to, no? Say dating sa itong estudyante. Okay? So, pwedeng ganito ang dating niya. Alright? And then they'll click, they'll answer, ana. Okay? So, what happens if ang pangutana is, what happens if kada question is, kada question, we'll go to the next, which of the following is the graph? Mabilog ang kada option picture. Eh, di ba, naman mo, which you follow is a wrong construction ba kaya? Which you follow is a, na ay error in, I don't know sa engineering. Pataka lang ko, but base na mo yung nga ng mga pangutana. So, option 1, let's just say, for example, picture. No? And then, option 2 is another picture. Option 2 is another picture. Pwede di ay na kani camera basta gusto nimo i-picture nimo direction ang nakaipakita diri. That's another picture. And then of course, pwede C, pwede D, muraging ana. No? And then of course, required. And then pwede i-shuffle ang option para di sila parehong makita na mga we're going to tell them 2 points ni, we're going to say answer feedback, pwedeng wala. We're going to tell Google that this is the correct answer and something like that. And what's the look? What's the look? Muraging ani gap, ani na din siya. No? So there are pictures. Okay? Pwede ding, no? Pwede ding i-reshuffle dayon siya, dili niya. So say for example, 1 to 30, di sila pareho question. Pero kung 1 to 30, tapos na din ko, let's say for example, ada question, walay pangalan niya, you notice? Of course, kung ako nihatag dito, tapos link, tapos walay pangalan, maglisod ko, no? So, let's say, you notice ako, ako ay surname, surname, tapos first name, kay gusto na ako na later, when I download it, surname yun, first name, no? Kaya usay kani, napagkasulti, ang mga estudyante, first name lang yung ibutang nila. No? And then, of course, that's required. So, I would know who owns it. But you will notice na kani siya nga type is considered as an item in Google Forms. So, what we're going to do now is separate that per section. No? So that later po, pag mag-ingon tag shuffle the question, gina-shuffle man niya within the section. So, kung kompleto tanan, isa ragid ka quiz, 1 to 50, kung i-shuffle niya, tapos na kay nakamarka dito na first name, surname, ang first name, surname, asa makapaingon. Because it's considered an item. But in this case, mag-shuffle siya within this section only. So, maybe this one is the personal info. So, di ara po lang yung i-shuffle. Naunsa man yung i-shuffle, isa raman ka buhok. Pero diri, may ingon lugar ko, multiple choice. Kani nga part. Diri din niya i-shuffle. No? Nga part. And then you can also add essay. Kung gusto nimo ang essay mo sagol diri, but you can also have a separate section where you have, asa na pang separate section, no? Where, pwede rin diri ang multiple choice. I continue. I can undo, no? I can undo and then I'll go to here and then diri na din ko mag-ingon there's a separate section at the bottom. Okay. So maybe this one is the part where designing, construction, whatever. And then later, kung naapoy pa-design, I'll add item. Here, I'll go, I would say, here, this part, you will upload a file. Okay? So, upload a file. Like, for example, design, construct, whatever. No? And then, they would upload a file, this part. Okay? Just like what you did in quiz number 2, pwedeng gi-construct niya, gi-design na, or pwedeng upload a video of you discussing a concept na in 1 minute, pwedeng ganun. So then, you were able to determine kung unsa gyud ang ilahang natun-an. And of course, you can tell this part is 5 points. Something like that. Okay? So you notice na natay first name, natay ingay-ani. Of course, we're gonna tell, ano na dayo, no? We're gonna tell Google, what quiz is this? What kind of quiz is this? Let's just say, for example, this is the math 12, no? And so you have to tell, ano na, it's a math 12 thing, no? Pwedeng, this is also in this part, there's a math 12 personal info. And please ensure you give also directions. Na ko'y pangalan, na ko'y ano, na ko'y exam. Looks okay, looks okay. All right? So we're looking at that. So ingani na din yung dating, no? Tapos magdire-diretso. Okay? It looks okay. Total points 11. And then I'm trying to look into be. Pwede na ba? Okay. So let's look at this, no? Final, before we send this to our students, we put this in our module. Are we going to collect, ano? Are we going to collect email addresses? Are we going to collect email addresses? You notice, in quiz 2, I collected an email ad. Again, para asa, so that later I can send the score. E dili man pud pwede na, dili ko mag-collect og ano, tapos maingon ra ko, okay, everyone, these are your score. Naa dito tanan ilang mga pangalan. Because of course, it's demotivating our students na murag na compare sila dito, no? Naa dito ilang ngalan, tapos sila ang pinakagamay and all that. So, scores are medyo private, no? Maula pa man gud tong mga dili kayo. So, you notice that in quiz 2, na murag dili siya multiple choice, na later pa nimo mabalaan ang score, I collect email ad. But of course, nganong natay email ad, napagigay pangalan, napagigay first name. In other countries po kasi email ad lang, no? Tapos ang pangalan, no, if our students are using their email ad na talagang ang parodat dinagsaw na yung anad, inang tatamang first name. Pero kung email ad raman good akong pangayoon, tapos walay surname, walay first name, our students na yung mga email ad na Amphi, Guapa at Gmail, insa man siya, maglisod na sad unless we have that data, no, na naa sila mga ingana. Okay? So again, I'll go back to the settings. We're now finalizing. Collect email if you want that, if scores will be released later. We also received, no, sabi ng mga ubang faculty, I'm already using this, but dili ka submit ang uban. Ang uban kay dili mo access problems daw na ay untol daw, no? Again, ma-access problem siya if you did this, no? So you have to unclick that so that everyone coming from bisag unsa na lugar, bisag unsa na email yung gamiton, you are still accepting this. Are you going to limit to one response only? Pag-submit, mauna. So, you know, in my doctoral class, I did not click this, no? Meaning that sometimes I give 2 weeks for a certain problem set, and what if they realize na sila na improve, they can still submit that, no? They can still submit, resubmit, and then we said, and I told them, I will consider the latest submission. Diba sila na realize na. But if you don't want that, you click limit one response, no? And then go to presentation. Are you going to allow the students to show progress bar, no? Para makita na unsa na sila, 20% out of unsa. Would you like that the questions are shuffled, no? But again, shuffled within the section, shuffled within the section. So kanisad siya. So usually you can do that, no? You do that para dili sila magkinupyahay, no? Okay, so I will not allow. So then presentation, no? I will click shuffle question order, no? On show link to submit another response, no? And then you can say your response has been recorded. Pwedeng ganon, or you have submitted para na apoy thank you for trying your best. No? Or pwedeng pag makasubmit sila unsa ka. And quizzes, no? Make this a quiz, ensure. And if you use your Gmail po, dili siya dili siya wala ni siya dito kay dili man ni siya part sa libre. Okay? So you notice here na anata kulangan na lang bayad sa USTP. So we will ask our friends, our admin na kung medyo magbayad ang university, ma-lock mode na din ta sa Chromebooks, meaning that while students are taking this test, they cannot open tabs. So that's ano no kanang controlling cheating, no? So pero di pa man ako siya mag-click. So kailangan pa ta murag I think magbayad, no? Mga ingana. And then immediately after each submission, so we will ask our dean, Sir Dean, pwede po bang ma-request na mabayaran ni? We will be requesting. Okay? What is this feature? Immediately after each submission. Release grade. Immediately after each submission, you experience in quiz 1. Pag-click submit, automatic, you have 8/12. Okay? But if you say later after manual review, that means you're just going to tell them, you have submitted, but no score. Because of course, just like in our quiz number 2, dili pa man ni siya mascorean diretso, no? Kay we will still check it, right? Now, unsa man diri ang problema? Kung murag ting-ani ang dating, no? Submission of design, pero ang imuhang gi-click kay immediately after submission, shock mga estudyante kay pag-submit ilang design na, din nakamarka, your score is 0/50. So, kung kani imong gi-click. So, kani dapat para later after manual review. Okay? So, do you want your students to see missed questions, correct answers, and point values? And then we save. So, it looks like, no, you find it okay now? It's fine, it's fine. We are now ready to put this in our module, post this on Facebook, send this to our, send this to our messenger and group chat. Okay, so what are we going to do? You click, so asa na to pang paon ang link, then you copy, and then you notice nagi-customize po na to, no? bit.do. Okay, kaya kung dili na ko i-customize, kani ang buong link. No, na adtuan sa may estudyante tapos kung ilan ni siyang ikopya pananglitan kani siya naa sa module nga gi-print nila lisod kayo kopyaw no, so you notice na dali lang siya kanina because I'd say Math 12, let's just say Math 12 PIT submission or Math 12 quiz 2. So and then I'm not a robot, and then let's go shorten. So nanadayon ni siya kanina dahil na ako ang so kahit pa nakabasino na na-post siya sa Facebook tapos nalimtan na to hatag og link, so at least kung kopyahon man nila ilarang i-copy ilarang isulat diri no na bit.do/math12quiz2. Actually pwede ra na bit.do/math12quiz2 mao ba or capital ang kuan? Capital ang Q, capital ang M. /math. So pwede ra kung kung naka-customize. And if the students will do that, na ay error, kay basin di ay kailangan din ako katog yung http/ and good ang pagkasulat. So moabot na rin siya sa itong mga estudyante. Okay? So sometimes we send this, we post this on our Facebook, we post this in Messenger, but we still schedule that. So say for example, September 29 pang test, but humana ka o create, no? What happens? So kung naana na siya, imo nang gi-announce, but you're still not accepting responses yet, you're still not accepting, there is a responses, and then walay makasulod sa, kay wala pa man naka-schedule, do not accept responses muna until naka-schedule. Okay? And then and ang naka-nice sa e-portal nato is dili taga-ingani nga murag ato pang i-click ang accepting responses na din siya schedule dito na kung time na kahit wala ka na tulog pa ka mo open na siya sa tong mga estudyante when we tell our students September 29 2 o'clock open na ang there no, so you can so what happens if you already sent that? If you already sent that and then the answers are coming in already, no? And then humana ang quiz. So parehaan nino 153 responses already. How would then I know the scores? And I will click that cross for my Excel. Okay, and then you will see that naa diri ang mga mga kanus-a sila nag-take kada oras kinsay nag-take og late or kung pa-design ni kinsay nag-submit og late. Okay? So you also see that akong gi-organize as surname, first name, ana. You will also see na, okay, let's see, na wala naka-alphabetical ang section. And what if there are so many of us, no? What if there are so many of us teaching this subject, no? 3 sections many, so there are 3 of us. So I can just click everything and then I'll go sort sheet by column A, or I will just go to ano and then determine no, sort column E man ang section. Column E ang section, I'll go alphabetical, and then I'll go like that. Okay? Like that. No, naka-alphabetical na din. Kami dayon na pareho mi og same amo ang exam pero lain mi og ano, pwede right na. No, kanira din among gitan-aw. Okay? So for getting the Excel file. All right? Sige po. So you will get this, and then we'll respond to some of the katong questions, no? And then of course, some of the question is, pwede ba siya na ay oras? Of course po, pero we limit the demo here kasi po it would be too too long to demo pati itong pag-encode pag sulod diri sa ubang apps, pagbutang sa mga timer, pag ano. Okay po? Sige po. So, no? Ing-ani. Okay? So, I will send this to katutanan akong gidemo kung ano. Alright? Okay. Question. Ang pinaka-dakong pangutana diri. Ha, basi mong ko maka-cheat mga estudyante. Of course, no, mga ninja be ang uban natong mga estudyante. But dili ta paulahi, no? Nga so kanus man gyud mahitabo ang mga cheating. If they open a different tab and then they Google the answers or use another application, ba? And so motong answer no, another is kung ma-turn on to natong Google, turn off the Google Chrome. Then when they take the test, dili maabri ang bang Google. But naapagid gyapon paraan ng ubang ana no. Dili sila ga-take. Dito sila gatanaw sa pikas kuan. But let's find a way later. And then sometimes they can preview the form before formal quiz. Kabantay mo antong pwede di ay nila loadan og lain nga ngalan. Tapos makita din nila ang quiz. And then ahead din sila magtarong. Motong karon ato ang i demo kung unsay mga other ways na to prevent cheating. So number 1 is we set a date and time range where students' responses are allowed. No, we tell them, we announce on our Facebook na or our e-portal or on the module na your test will only be at 11 to 11:30 only. O kung 50 items, 11 to 11:30, mag-try pa siya tanaw na ano pa man, na kanang ano man, kanang sitaw ani, limited man, then mag-close dayo, no? Mga ing-ani na style, di ba po? Kung kuan. So, you can limit that, and then again, katong ingon nato paganihan na, you can, you can close this kung wala pa, tapos pag 11 to 11:30 ay hara siya open. So, kung medyo designing, medyo ing-ana, pagkahuman, limited ang oras, di na siguro kaayo ka ninja ang uban. Ba? Another is that naay usay problema sa ing-ani no kung ang mga question kay let's say I'll put another question. Kung ang question, add another item asa kanya na kung ang question kay which of the chuk-chuk tapos ang answer kay short answer tapos mag-respond mga estudyante. Kabantay mo ani nga murag nag-viral ni sa social media na if the correct answer, let's say for example, ang correct answer is a variable. Tapos ang gi-answer sa estudyante kay dako nga V, wrong ba ni? So, ang kakapoy aning short answer na kana bitang murag fill in the blanks is you have to load all the possible, no? Capital letter, all caps ngay ana. And so sometimes we don't we don't recommend this, no? Pwede man ni siya mga formative assessment, may ana. But here, we're determining if they are achieving our outcomes. So we are suggesting and we hope you consider na sana po mga authentic assessment. Ano po yung authentic assessment when it comes to collecting outputs from our students? Yun pong talagang students are the ones demonstrating to you that they have the skill. Yung mga apply, do, demo, yung mga ganun po talaga, no? Mga critique, present, yun talaga yung ipasubmit nila sa imuha. Pero kung imo ipasubmit like, make a video of yourself to critique I like this or evaluate I like this, tapos ipasubmit na to sila sa messenger, bagsapaw na din to sila dito, no? Then it's not going to be very organized. So later, I'll show you na kani siya nga sample is, it is accessible to our students to submit their outputs, but it's also not a burden to the faculty. So to prevent cheating, once again, if we can also consider authentic assessments po, no? Yun lang mga assessments na our students are demonstrating. So let me just show you po what I did with senior high. Anong senior high man nga po ang nasample, walay college, wala ko load ko sa college. I only teach the senior high and the doctoral. Ang saya, no? I have students also from SEA in my doctoral. So let's say, for example, now this one is an activity where they're going to present, and then they're what I'm grading is the ones asking the question. So this is about practicing their critical thinking standards. You notice that they're going to present, and then this one is a submission link that we posted in Facebook, on our e-portal, in the group chat, kung asa gyud na ang mga estudyante. And this link is even hello po, murag kami ang nawala. O later po, Sir De Los Reyes. Sorry po, murag kami ba ang nawala? Kay kamo kay intact lagi mo. Murag kami ang naano po, no, na there is a LRC. Pasensya po. So, once again, this is our sample of our authentic assessment, and this is a sample of what we post on Facebook, what we post on our e-portal, and what we also send to the group chat as well as to text the students, no, kaning submit output through this link, something like that. So amo siyang gi-customize para kung some of our students manggod kay ka-print lang bitaw, tapos ayha lang sila maka-connect kung sa ilahang cellphone, kung ilang i-open ilang data. So para mas madali pud sila og sulat dadto sa link ato i-customize, no? So again, authentic assessment will prevent cheating. Kaya lang sa ulag cheating, no, nga ilaha man yung demo ang ato ang gipangayo. So this is an example of how it looks like in the Google quiz. No, kanino pa-submit mig name of students kay group work man, yung student 2, and then some of them are beyond pair. And then na-add what their section, and then we ask them to click their link of their video, and then some of their reflections. So this is an example of how it looks like when all the videos are in, no, 150 responses. So we download, and we download Excel, no, again sa ganina siya. So katong ing-ani, kung ako na siyang i-download, I will download and I will click Excel, no? And then isa-isa na din ako ni siya makita. When I click this, I would go to the submit to my estudyante, and then I'll check. So same thing when I check, then mag-grado na din ko, no, kaning group, and then I'll release because I asked man their email addresses. Okay. Okay. All right. So when I click that, and then again, no, katogi, pwede na mo i-sort because there are 6 faculty kasi teaching this subject eh. But so kanino we ask them to show us, demonstrate to us if they can practice their critical thinking standards. I cover their faces for data privacy, but makita nato na di siguro mag-cheat, di siguro nila kailangan i-google kasi sila man mismo ang modemo sa imo if they have learned the skill already. So these are my students. No? So another way to prevent cheating is to shuffle the question order. So 11 to 11:30 only, tapos 50 items, no, langan mag-ano pa sila, and then shuffle the question order, and then ani pod no, if even if objective type of test ayaw ning immediately after each submission, release the correct score only after everyone submitted, pati itong mga wala naka-take of test, mga ana. So later after manual submission, gyapon kahit multiple choice, kahit pa kuan lang. Okay? Sometimes we can prevent cheating if there's no name. Kasi it's also an assessment when we ask our students to respond. These are my doctoral students, no? Wala man ko nag-asa ilang mga pangalan. So they're willing to answer, but it is also me determining whether they're understanding the concepts and if there are some redesigning that I need to do. Also, we can prevent cheating if na ay mga names but dili recorded, because again, assessment is for us faculty to determine whether our students are learning. And pwede nato sila i-require nga mo take sa self-assessment, but it is not part of the grade para sila makabalo sa whether they're really learning the concept, no? Especially katong mga board exam questions na this is not recorded but tanawa ganin ninyo inyong mga ano no kung ready ba mo, no? Another way to prevent cheating is to create set A, set B exam, no? Kaning set A nga link, these are for Abao to Narvasa and then Norbieno to Zoilon kanina link. So di na gid sila mag-try no kung unsang ano. Some of the teachers I saw kaninga link naagid sila kaninga link kaninga mga pangalan lang, kaninga link kaninga mga pangalan lang, no? Especially kung and then 11 to 11:30 lang, tapos kanila nga adlaw i ano. So sometimes it's not difficult to create a kapoy gidlagar kaayo kay kuan man. Sometimes it's difficult to create Earth Science Quiz 3. You can make a copy, and then nato kay siya ibutang ni Google bisag asa. Okay. Okay. So I'll look for at copy. O nana din siya no? Ana. Okay. Okay, so wait lang So again ha, I will click this if I wanted a copy of this kay mo na kung set B or set A. So I can click this, I'd say, let's say for example ha, this one, or kato akong geometry quiz. I'll click that, I'll make a copy. And then I'll look for that, no? So ibutang man ni Google somewhere. Where is it? Copy. Copy of, no? Pwede. So I'll click that. Copy lang man siya. So, para di ko magsugod from the top, I'd go, Kanisha, quiz 1. This is going to be set B. So, duha na dahil. And then ako na lang i-change ang given diri 1/2, ang uban diri 1/4. Diba? You will see that I then have a modern geometry quiz 1 and a modern geometry set B. Okay? So, pwede pa lang ganun. Alright? So, hope you can consider that in your test. Medyo na off me, so medyo ka nang nawala tong ubang questions na inyong gi-send kanina. We'll address them one by one po. So pwede pong katong wala naman address pa, pakihangyo ko po na ma-send again ha. But we will have Sir Arvin for some other tips and embedding this to the e-portal. Thank you po. So Sir Arvin, do you know, we have already introduced him in the past webinar, so I'll not make this long. Sir Arvin is one of our CiTL's head and academic head of the senior high school. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Narvasa.
Good morning, everybody. So just recently we learned about how we are going to create a quiz out from Google Form. And this time I will show you how we are going to create a repository where our students can submit their outputs. As I've mentioned, no, mga outputs like portfolio, or it could be like a Microsoft Word output or a presentation. That depends on the kind of output you want them to do. Okay, so i-demo na lang nako siya, but if you cannot catch up because medyo pasing-paspasan ra mo, we will be sending you a handout of the step-by-step process on how we're going to do this. Okay, so first you open your Google account. Okay, we recommend that you use your USTP Google account because with USTP Google account, it has unlimited data storage. So we can collect as much as we want to from our students. Okay, so first thing that you're going to do is when you open your Google account or your USTP Google account, you look for this Google Apps icon right here beside your profile thumbnail. So you click on that and you go to Google Forms. So basically this is just a very similar process to what has been demonstrated by Dr. Amfino just recently. Okay, and then you go to blank quiz, but you can actually also go to blank, no? Pero I would recommend blank quiz because blank quiz will actually provide us an access on grading the outputs right away. Para when we are done grading the output, we can actually just send it to the email of our students. Okay, so let's click on blank quiz. And then on the blank quiz, we will name this as, say for example, submission of activity 1. Okay. And then we will put description because we want our students to know what this form is all about. Okay. So say for example, we will say here, you may submit your first activity through this form. Deadline is on October 2, 2020. Okay, why do I put here the deadline? Because there are some students who who tends to open the form in advance and then magkuan na sila no mag-discover pa na sila unsa din nga form about. So when they open it, at least they will be reminded that the deadline of the activity is still on October 2. Okay, so the first item that we need to put here is the name. You can actually just put it the same like gidemo ka kanina, last name and then the first name. In that way, you can organize your data later on, no? In a more systematic way. But this is just a sample. In my case, I just put here name and then I put a format, full name followed by the first name. Okay, and then you make sure that the option here is short answer. And then after that, you click required. Okay, why is it important that we click required? Because later on, when we are starting to receive the output from our students, at least we know who this output is coming from or who the output is coming from. Okay, so after that, we will add another item or another question. And this time, this is, I'll put here section. Okay, this is good, or this is very practical if you have a subject or a course that you're teaching with like 2 or more sections. Okay, so say for example, in my personal development, because I'm teaching right now with the senior high school, I actually have two sections in one course. So say for example, akong ibutang section love, section excellence, anong lugar no, pangalan lang nato siya. Tugod nga nato section discipline. So that when students open this or when they are going to submit their output, at least they just have to tick on the section that they belong to. Okay? And then make sure it's multiple choice and then you toggle required. Okay? Para dili gyud mo lukso or dili mo dili gid mo accept si Google Form no kung dili kompleto ang details nga ihatag sa estudyante. Okay? And then the last part would be, I usually put here, you may upload your activity 1 here. Okay? And this time, instead of multiple choice, you look for file upload. So this will enable the students to upload their files and submit them to you. Now, if you click on file upload, Google Forms will actually prompt you that when students will open this link, they have to log in to their Google account. Not necessarily USTP, okay? Not necessarily the USTP account, but this is for security purposes no, or data privacy. So this is the reason why na kailangan sila mo-upload. Okay, and then, or kailangan sila mo log in rather. Okay, and then you click continue. And as what you can see here, you have other options that you can customize. Okay, so the first option here is allow only specific file types. Okay, this is when you will only require a very specific file type from your students. Say for example, you want them that the output is from Microsoft Word. So pwede na nimo siya i-customize nga. Ang dawaton lang gid sa Google Form is Microsoft Word lang. Dili siya pwede mo dawat og PDF, dili siya pwede mo dawat og image or whatever. Okay? That is if you're very strict with the kind of output that you are requiring from your students. However, at this point, okay, we need to have leniency. So what I do is, ako lang siyang gina-remain na untoggled. But if you want to toggle, you can actually just select either a document or a PDF or a video or an image. Okay, sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't because again, it's for leniency purposes. So the reason why sometimes I click on image because naamagod tayo mga students nung wala di ay sila'y smartphones, wala di ay sila'y tablets, wala laptop or maskin man lang desktop. No? And ang ilan din ginabuhat is, moto pa sila sa silingan, mag-print sa module, and then dito sila mag-answer sa activities. And then what they do is mag-borrow sila cellphone sa ilang parents makaha or sa ilang neighbor, picturean pa nila ang ilang gibuhat, and then i-send dayon nila. And that's the reason why I always toggle image because for that purpose, no, para makakollect man lang taas, at least gipicturean man lang sa bata. And later on, I will show you an example of that. Okay, so the second option here is maximum number of files. This is when you are going to require more than one number of files from your students. The default here is 1, but you actually have an option of 5 and 10. If you say, for example, require students with 2 to 3 activities na ipapasa nimo in just one sitting, because naman po tayo nga medyo dugay-dugay nga wala ta nagpapasa pero iato ding ibulto og papasa kasi na mga ingon ana nato nga scheme. So we would say, for example, if it's 2 to 3, I would just have 5, or if it's more than 5, I'll have a maximum of 10 pero maging posible na sad kayo na nakadaghan. Okay, and then maximum file size. Okay, we have here an option of 1 MB, 10 MB, up to 10 gig. Okay, this is when you will be requiring students to, or perhaps you would like to limit the file size. No, if it's just a word processed document, usually it's just kilobytes, 47 kilobyte, na lang. Pero what if magpapasa kag mga outputs like images or infographics or videos or audio files? That would require siguro 10 megabytes or more, no? If dili nila i-compress ang video, then that would require more. So you can actually choose an option here para dili kayo muna nakabugat pud sa ato ang part ang pag-play. Say for example, niabot na og 45 megabytes no ang ilang gipasa. So pag sa atoan na end, pag play na to ana dugay kay mag-load, sige na siya load. So pwede na siya nga ato siyang i-limit. So and as what you can see here, there's another option. Okay, akong i-highlight. This form can accept up to 1 gig of files, but actually you can change this one. Just like what I did recently with my students no, nagpapasa ko sa ilaha og video, tapos nalimtan din nila akong change no 1 gig ra ako ang na-set. So nag-notify din sa ako si Google nga you're about to reach the limit of your of the form. So pwede din na to siya i-change. So we click here the change option. And then at the very end of the menu, you will see here maximum size of all files uploaded. So you actually click on that. Okay, and then you have an option up to 1 terabyte. Saro basad no o kanang dili pa gyud nato makolektanan kung 1 terabyte na gyud natong 1 terabyte na gyud natong i-assign ani nga folder. Okay, so 1 gig, 10 gig, 100 gigs, that depends upon you. Okay, and of course you have to make sure that you're not restricting to users in USTP, because by then our students cannot access, especially if they don't have a USTP Gmail account. No? So you click save. All right? And then here you have answered. If, for example, this output would be worth 25 points. So you put 25 here or you encode 25 and then you click done. Okay, and then you toggle required. Because sometimes atong students, medyo gakataranta sila, no? May kailang butang sa ngalan, pick silang section, pero pag abot sa file, nila na-upload, diretso silang submit, no? Okay, so mas maayo nga, i-required yun na to tanan kay para dili makaligtaan sa students na magpasa sila. Alright? Sige. So, how does this look like in the eyes of the student? No? So, let's click on preview. And this is how it looks like to the students. So as what you can see here, they will just have to input their here their names, and then they just have to click on the section which they belong to, and then here's an add file button. If they click on that, it will automatically lead them to the directory of their computer. Okay, and then they will just have to choose the file. So this is very convenient when it's on the go, no? So kuan siya, no, kung what if ang ilang pag-encode kay cellphone ray naa sa ila. So at least if they click on the link through their phone, they can just access immediately the file that's in their phone. And what's good about this is if we're collecting the outputs, it becomes organized, no? So dili na malubong kaysa kung sa email ta medyo gubot kayo sa pangitaon pa nato to nga file. So how are we going to put this to USTEP? Okay, so that even if nasa USTEP kay kani siya, again, this is just an alternative. Pwede siya sa USTEP, pwede po siya sa Messenger, pwede siya sa Facebook, depending sa asa ang mas accessible sa students. Because naman yun tayo students na luxury of internet connectivity, so they can just access USTEP if they want. But how about for those who don't or who can't, no? So let's go back to the form, the edit mode of the form. And then as what you can see here, right beside your profile thumbnail, you click on the more option, the 3 dots there. And then you click on get pre-filled link. Okay, and then you go down to the very bottom of the page. And then you click get link. And a notification ribbon will appear here that says copy link. So you click on that. And then it's copied to your clipboard. So now you go to USTEP. Okay, now once you're in USTEP, you click the course that it could be the Bayanihan teacher or the Bayanihan leader. Okay, and then you turn editing on. Okay, this is to activate the editing mode of the course page. Okay, and then you go down, pangitaon na to, sige butang ta. Gusto na ko ako mga students kay magpasa sila sa ilahang output din sa pinaka-last kaning 21st of August up to 27th of August, din a week. Okay, so you click on add an activity or resource. Okay, and then in this menu, you go to the very bottom and look for the URL. That is the very last option. And then you click add. Okay, once you click add, you just have to make sure that you copy or you paste the link, no? First, kay basin unya og natay pang copy malimtan nato nga ang link, no, na sapawan na siya. So in the external URL, you right click here and then you click paste. Okay, and then you proceed to naming the link. So say for example, link to submission. Submission of activity 1. Okay, and then you go down, click Save and Return to Course. Okay, so once you're in your course page, you click Turn Editing Off. Okay, and then you go to the week where you pasted or you embedded that. So as what you can see here, between August 21st to 27th, the link is already here. So if you are the student who's going to click on that link, okay, it will immediately lead you to the form. Okay, and that's it. No, so even if you're somewhere, even if you're, say for example, going to, you're shopping for your groceries and gusto ni mga makita nga sa imong phone nagkuan ba nagpasa ba ang mga students, so you can actually just click on the go, no, or check on that. Okay, so yung na lang siya. What's good is nana siya sa imong Google account. Okay, so how does this look like when the students are going to submit? So I'll show you an example of an activity that my students have already submitted. Okay, so let me just look for it here. Okay, here. All right. So this is an example for my personal development first activity. As what you can see here at the top part, we have here responses, and then at the side of it, we have here 88. That means to say that there are 88 submissions already from our student, from my students. Okay, and if you click on that, you will see here, okay, the section they belong to, and then their outputs. Okay. Now, the thing here is, you cannot just check here. No, kay murag, kung mo siya i-open din mo gubot man, no, wala ka kabalo ka. Asa na sila nga section gikan and on. And if you can see here, we have an option of view folder. If you click on that, this will lead you to the Google Drive folder. So ingunani mo na siya. Pag magpasa ang students through this Google form, Google will automatically create a Google folder for you. Okay, nga ma-collect dito tanan. So it's just in one place. You don't have to look for it or whatever. However, in the Google Drive folder, it's unorganized. Okay, so what we do is we go back to the very top of the page, and as what you can see here, we have view responses in sheets. You click on this icon, the green icon with a white cross. Okay, and it will lead you to this, the roster of all the submissions. You can actually just organize this by filtering or organizing the by section bakaha or sa bakaha, no? So you have here timestamp. So you will know when the students have submitted, what time they have submitted. You will also have here the full names of your students, and then the section, and then the links to their output. So how are we going to preview the output? Yes, what you can see here, by the way, no, before ka mag-preview, makita ninyo nga i-organize na ninamo siya or nako siya by section. So this would be easier for me to locate, no, kung kinsay wala nagpasa, kinsay nakapasa. Okay, so if you hover your mouse to the link, this will actually give you a preview of the student's output. Okay, so I will show you an example, okay, of nganong gina-allow na ko itong image kaganina. Okay, so if you click on the preview, okay, you will see here the output of my student. Now, kani gid siya, wag gid siya printer, wag gid siya device, no, nga pwede nga dito siya mag-encode, no, nanghulam ra ni siya og cellphone para at least man lang mapictura niya ang gisulat. So mauna nga importante sa ato ang leniency karon. We can't just limit the type of files that we want our students to submit. No? As much as possible, we create ways for them at least. Okay, so that is for my example. Okay, I will show you another one din sa amo ang Facebook because apart from USTEP no, nagput up pud mi og backup sa Facebook just in case no, just in case nga dili kuan sa mga student ma-access. So just like here, okay, I will show you an example of the link. Okay, and okay, as what you can see here, this is the activity. Okay, and then at the top of the activity, nana din ang links. Ang link rather. Nana ang link din eh. And if they just have to click on that, they will know, okay, so then hindi mi magbasa because the instructions are very clear here. All right? So that would be all for my sharing. Naay nangutana ka ganina no, can we have a question bank? Ganahan ko ato nga question. Can we have a question bank? There is we can it's an add-on app that we can insert to our Google form. It's actually called the Form Maker. Pero dili lang sana na ma-share karon kay mo taas na gid ang discussion no. And even kato bitang nangutana kung pwede ba nga na time limit ingon ana. So nagapong tayong add-on ang nga app, pero siguro by next time if we have the ample time no, or if time permits, then we can share that with you. Okay po, salamat. That would be all for my sharing.
Ano hindi ko maka-unmute? Or am I unmuted? There. There. Okay. Salamat Sir Arvin for the tips and others, no? Especially because we're trying to consider talaga po what is best accessible to our students and again, still helpful sa ato ang mga faculty. So, we have come to an end. Salamat po sa inyong oras, but we will have this few minutes for your questions. For some, we try to answer on our chat group. I'm sure you also have the same mga clarifications and unsa. So katong unsaon man ang students nga kanang gaka-disconnect while nag-take sa exam, then i-set time range kay it's unfair man sa students nga nag-exam on time then ibawan lang dayon nga gituyo man di ay disconnect. Ano may ingani na estudyante no? I hope dili nila yun pero naagi mga ingani. So my response to Sir O'Neill is it's a bit challenge until now, no? Of course, lahi raman gyud katong face-to-face ta. So what I do with my students is that I announce really ahead of time para katupong naka-data kaya usual mo nila ng comment is karon na sila naignan, karon mag-quiz tapos pag-quiz nila wala ka silang kapangandam silang data na kwarta or ana kay ang uban ana kay kuan ra man pud no kanang piso net. So kung pang 5 pesos lang ang ilahang kayanon makaing ana, I think it's 5 minutes piso or piso sa uban, piso is 1 minute. So medyo mahal-mahal na din. So mga pangandam and then of course even with the quiz it's also even katong pa-submit no mga every 2 weeks, every even tong pa-live every once in 3 weeks mga ingana. So that's another. Of course, another is katong kung mas screenshot sila, wala gitay control na pero kung mas screenshot pa sila, isend pa nila, tan-awon pa pero limited naman di ay. And of course, I will also tell my students, if you miss that, tapos grabe way ahead ang ako ang pag-announce, and then mga yung mag-special quiz. Sometimes, because of the pandemic, I consider, but of course, I will really give them a very different quiz. And then usay ako pud silang black gamay nga pag special quiz ha murag halo-halo ha grabe ka special grabe ka lami so mura na like they get a sense of basig medyo lahi ang difficulty level no so mga ing-anak po ang way so naagi mga kuan there Salamat po sa inyong ano. So again, may I ask for a copy of a reported since I missed some of the items. Alam mo, okay, sige po. Yes, yes, ma'am, Marjones. Ma'am, sorry po. Salamat po for your comments. Salamat, Sir Calibara, Sir Jonathan, Sir Dexter, Ma'am Ruth. We're so glad to hear from you. Also, noted, Ma'am Desire. Okay po. Thank you po. Thank you. Salamat po. So again po, we're sending your certificate. We're also sending this recorded video. We're also sending yun pong yung step-by-step guide. We're also sending that to you. Both yung present ko tsaka present ni Sir Arvin po. So yun po, we are sending that to you para po and we're also requesting po na sana po you tell us of what else we can do to help assist you po, because that's our mandate, no, to assist you and yung mga ganun. Although you can actually just Google this, study the YouTube and everything, but because we know that our faculty has already a lot, no, you already have a lot in mind. You still check, you still try to assess your students and also create content with your modules. We will do the studying for you na po, yung mga how to do this and look at everything, no, baka how to do the flip grid and all that. We will do that for you so that we can help, we can better assist. So for all of that po, we request that you click the our evaluation link, which is already in our chat box, and we are also sending you all the resources with the evaluation link. Please tell us po, so that one, we get more inspired. Two, we will see if this has been timely and relevant, and three, on what else we can better assist you, our dear faculty. So I guess wala na gagawas na mga questions on our chat box. We thank you for your time. I know you've been very busy and we have a lot on our hands, but thank you for this time. We are reading your comments, and so salamat kayo po sa inyong mga oras, our dear faculty. Magtinabanga po ta. So now we're requesting everyone to please turn on their video so that we can take a screenshot, and then okay lang po ba na we take this picture and post it on our Facebook, put it as a report to our deans and our Vicasa and our chancellor. Kung medyo na po tayo problema sa mga, tawagan na po, data privacy, medyo di kayo kaganahan na i-post ni, please tell us po privately so that we can consider. Pero kung wala naman po may ma-receive, that means okay po tayo lahat ha, for our faces and our dagway to be on our accreditation documents baka appeal ni siya and all that. Sir Lionel, kung wala ka may pakauban na, pwede take off your mask so that makalaro na mo yung kagwapo. Salamat po, Sir Ibanez. Pwede pong magnisi, Sir Duat. No? So our staff is taking pictures. I'd like to thank my colleagues in CiTL po. Staff Sir Jim, Engineer Suasola, Sir Arvin, thank you very much. No camera, Sir Jonathan, so sad, di makita yung kagwapo. Salamat po sa inyong oras. So are we okay? Tanan na nataken? Okay, we're good. Thank you so much, our dear faculty from SEA, ATC, and CT po. Salamat po. God bless everyone.